All right, what's up, everybody? It is Patey Pips, Next Wave Analyst, and we're doing another weekly top-down analysis. Checking out the news to begin with. We got a lot of FOMC speakers speaking this week. We also have an FOMC minutes meeting on Wednesday. That's going to be very important. We want to know what they're going to say. They're not doing any numbers or anything. We just want to know what they're going to say, how the sentiment is going to be. But ultimately, the CPI number on Thursday is going to be extremely important. The core CPI, or really the year-over-year CPI, all of it. But as long as it's above 8, that's terrible. I don't even care if it's 8.1. If it's 8.1, that's still terrible. So, if it needs to drastically start to drop for the Fed to start to even look good at all. 8% inflation is terrible. So those are going to be the things we're looking for this week. Really, it's Wednesday, FOMC meeting minutes. So they're going to be speaking. And then Thursday is going to be the CPI inflation numbers. I do know that the GDP for the GBP is coming out, but kind of really more interested in this over here. Okay. So let's go over to the charts now and let's see what the technicals are looking like. So we're starting with the dollar, of course. And, last week we had an interesting candle, right? Week before we had this possible rejection with huge volume. And then the week after we dipped down into this demand and closed with a wick. So with the trend being extremely bullish, I'm actually going to remain bullish on the dollar overall, like on a yearly perspective or like a macro perspective. But I do know there's an opportunity on the lower time frame that we're going to look at. So we did have high volume come in on this candle right here. So I'm interested. Ultimately, though, it just looks like it's going to continue to the upside. So there was no trend break. There was no structures break, none of that. Unfortunately, the 78.6 of this last impulse didn't get hit. The 61.8 did. We'll take a look at that on the lower time frame here. And on the daily, you can see that the 50 EMA pretty much held. It didn't get hit. We had the monthly point of control from September. So when it made this big move, this was the price with the most volume. Came back into that, barely missed it, and started to go bullish. I'm going to keep it here. But ultimately, as long as price remains above this 50 EMA in this extremely bullish market, we are going to remain bullish, as bullish as we can, to be honest, especially with this recent impulse that the momentum was starting to diverge. And then we get a pop right here in the momentum. So that allowed the next wave to come in, right? So let me make sure that everyone is still able to come into the chats. Okay, we're good. All right, perfect. So ultimately, we're still bullish on the dollar. We wanted it to come down into these levels. It didn't. So let's go into maybe the 4-hour now and see what it's looking like. Now, there is still a possibility, like I said, for the bears because of that weekly volume. So I'm going to make a half risk suggestion here. And it makes sense. We have weekly volume lining up at the 78.6 of this impulse down, which was that bearish weekly candle. So yes, the trend is super bullish. Even right here, the trend is starting to flip back to bullish, but it's a possibility that price could react here to the downside. So there was heavy supply right there, and there is good volume. There's a nice fib level. It's a good discounted price. If if price is going to revisit this low or even revisit this demand area that I believe it could, this is going to be the area where it should react at to come down into here. All right. Then we could maybe see some type of bullish reaction. This would be a humongous ABC wave. That's ultimately, that would be picture perfect. If it comes up in here, rejects, we get a half risk sell to bring it down into this demand. We get some type of pattern here, Wyckoff move. And then ultimately that's when the macro move happens, right? So sometimes your macro analysis can be off a little bit because the timing of the macro is a little bit different. I am going to go down to the 1 hour just to see. Okay, the divergence on the momentum is there as well. So as the market has made new highs, the momentum quite hasn't got there yet. We do have untested volume from this day way up here as well. So I'm pretty interested to see what's going to happen. There was a ton of volume right here, and we kind of just blew through it. So I'll be looking the first opportunity this week I get. I'll be looking to short the dollar right here. Now, if the dollar starts to fall before it gets there, I'm not going to care too much if it comes back up here. That this is kind of like more of a 1-to-1 or 1-to-2 type scenario. And actually, let's measure this. If it comes up here, I'm going to look for the short with my stop above here and bringing it down just around here. Oh, so it's a 1-to-4, almost a 1-to-5 actually. So a big move on the dollar really is what I'm looking for, to be honest. Now, what's most likely going to happen? What's most likely going to happen is this thing is probably just going to continue to maybe stall right here, make people think it's going to drop, and then just blow straight past it. Because ultimately, that's just kind of what it's been doing over and over as it creates these like patterns right here. It'll stall, and then it'll make a new high. It'll, come right here, it'll stall, then it'll make a new high. Right here, same thing. Stalls, and makes a new high. So it's bullish, right? So it most likely is going to stall and then make a new high, but we got an opportunity. We got to take that, which means we might get some opportunities on the other pairs, right? So this didn't quite get to the area that I wanted it to get to, and that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of delete this zones like that. Keep this bigger time frame or what have you channel that was. Let's look at the weekly, and this is important. The yearly point of control right here was rejected. So the probability of this just this week coming back above here is pretty low, which is going completely against what I think is going to happen on the dollar, right? So the probability, like I'm saying, of the dollar moving to the downside is low, and the probability of this moving to the downside is high. There's still going to be a play that I'm going to look at, but I'm just saying there's not really an opportunity right now to sell this. The opportunity was up here. So now it's like you either don't buy it or take the low risk opportunity, because this looks like a perfect boom, boom, and we're coming down here. Low volume though, so we are getting this low volume pullback. Regardless though, when the market is trending this heavy and it's below this 50 EMA, you don't really want to try to buy it. But if you are going to buy it, you want to buy at discounted prices. So let's look at to see where, if we're going to buy it, where the best possibility really lies. And it's pretty obvious where it is. We take the fib from the low to high, and we have a good spot right here at the 78.6. And so for the dollar, it's the same thing pretty much, the 78.6 up here. And we're looking for the euro to come down and hit the 78.6 right there. There's volume with it as well. So it's a really good area, in my opinion, at least for a reaction on the euro. And it's lining up perfectly with the dollar. Now, like I said, probabilistically, this thing might have a reaction, but the weekly is in the daily and everything is screaming like, yeah, we might have one day up, but then the next 2 days, we're probably coming down. So just, keep that in mind. This area right here might hold as some resistance, but I'm still going to look for the euro to bounce right here regardless. I'm looking for the euro to bounce, and I need to put this alert here. Look for bullish bounce. And then on the dollar, I need to put the opposite. So I need to look for a bearish bounce. At least, depends on how the market really looks. But all right. We're going to go to the pound. And this one missed our order as well. What up, Lizzie Blake Rogers? All right. We're on the pound already. Dollar bearish opportunity, ultimately bullish, same or different with the euro. Okay. The pound is tripping. Okay, the pound is just straight tripping. I'm still lowest key interested to see if this low is going to hold on it because of the reaction we got off of it. Boom, boom. But because the V bottoms are sometimes the end all be all, right? The end all be all. But the 2020 low held so heavy that it is so risky. But regardless, I'm still gonna look for this to possibly bottom out and try to catch a heavy swing, something like this. And it's a long ways away, and it doesn't actually line up. What it would actually line up with is the dollar would make new highs, but the pound would hold. Okay, if that happens, then this is a go. But right now, it simply looks like there was a humongous volume move and price move down. We got a low volume pullback, and we're probably going to start to see some supply come back into the market. But if price continues to fall with no supply, we're going to expect it to turn around in this area. I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to go down to the 4-hour time frame, and I want to find some type of volume area right here. Perfect. And you know what? In fact, that should hold. And we'll make this the money spot. And I'm liking that. So look for bullish bounce. Now it's so risky. So all this is half risk, but I like the opportunity. The best opportunities will probably be on the lower time frames to sell, but I don't really care for this. The only place I would sell would be either way up here or way up here. So that's why I'm going to wait for all the way down here to buy. Let's go into the Australian dollar, which we don't really care about that much these days. It's gonna continue lower, most likely, just like the other ones. This one's actually already breaking its low, so the strength to the downside on the Aussie is kind of showing its prevalence a little bit more, but overall strength macro, it's still the strongest. If this one does any type of Wyckoff shit right here, it'll kind of tell me where the overall market is, I believe. So I'm kind of watching for that. Basically right here, right now is what I'm watching for. If the market wants to hold here and then come back above this level, I will look at this as a smooth accumulation, and we'll be looking for that type of move and just try to eat off of this. As for now, though, I really don't care for it. It has the divergence that I like to see. And if it does continue a little bit more down into this area, I might go on to the lower time frames and look for some type of retracement back to the mean, just because there is pretty heavy divergence here, especially right here. Pretty obvious, but that dollar, man, that dollar is tripping, and this one's way off of everyone else. So I don't, like I said, we haven't been messing with AU as much. Yeah, it's definitely this is a 61.8 right here. So it's already at the 61.8. Here's the 70, and here's the 78.6 on that higher time frame. The 1 hour is showing this divergence here. So we're slowing down on all time frames. Obviously, it's sideways. That's why I'm saying if it has the accumulation, it is in a higher time frame demand, and I don't know that I just made that up, but like higher time frame demand. And so if we can get a perfect Wyckoff spring, yeah, if it comes into here, great. If it doesn't, whatever. Okay, the spring is what we need to see, and then the test. And if we can get that move right there, we'll ultimately know that the next move, when it comes into here, should bow and we should explode out, and then we'll be able to either catch this move somewhere in here or this one. So we'll have 3 opportunities, but we have to wait for this, or we can try to swing it, catch this, and play the lower time frames in that as well. I kind of, now that I say all that, I like the way AU looks, but I need to wait for it. I really got to wait for it. So it doesn't look terrible though, especially because it's in that higher time frame demand. So we'll wait for AU to bust out of this area, and I'll stop deleting shit. All right. The Swiss franc is weird as shit too to me right now. I don't have the best read on this one because look at it. I mean, just it's ugly as shit. I'm gonna delete this, and it looks very bearish on the weekly right now. It looks like it's just gonna continue to drop, but the momentum here, we're on. I just don't like the way it looks. But yeah, it looks like it's gonna continue down. If anything, let's go to the daily. And yeah, breaking these lows, low volume though. So that's the thing. If the volume is low when these lows get broken, I'm going to expect this to be fake, and because it's ranging anyway. So why should I expect a trendy move to the downside in a range? Right? I shouldn't. So I'm going to mark this area off, and I'm going to mark this area off, and not that. And if price starts to reject there on a daily time frame, I'm going to expect a lower time frame reversal. Basically, let me go to the 4 hour and see if there's any divergence, and there is. So the pairs that I say I don't like are looking possible for moves. So basically, yeah, it's the same thing. Got to wait for this type of accumulation. Maybe, I mean, this one's uglier. Definitely, AU definitely has more of a more of accumulation look because has been trending down more. This is more of a been going sideways look, or kind of just ugly range, maybe even choppy vibe to it. I don't know. So I'm just gonna be waiting on the chef. If it can go ahead and like erase Friday and Thursday smooth right here, just bam, and then bam, that would, I would be more, or if we see a spike down into here, just a V bottom, well, then we kind of have spotted it out, right? So it's kind of a waiting game for these as well, unless you want to get risky with it and try to catch it down at the bottom. Let's go to the yen, which is tripping. The yen is just tripping out. It doesn't want to do shit. So it's at its all-time lows still. And I'm tired of it. I'm only looking for buys at this level. I'm not looking for no sells at all-time lows. So weekly is literally just battling these lows right here. Just doesn't want to break them, and that's cool. But at the same time, like, yo, if you're not going to break them, let's just go ahead and go up, right? So Daily is literally just no siree. Is not wanting to freaking go lower, but it's not going higher. So we're waiting really ultimately for this thing to kind of make a real bullish move, because at this point it's probably just going to continue to fake lower, or just try to keep taking my money on every single like time I try to buy it or sell it into or a freaking yen pair. Because when this thing goes up, a yen pair goes down. And yeah, I mean, perfect accumulation. We've been talking about that this was going to do this. We just thought maybe it might skedaddle a little early with this move. That was just kind of sign of strength. Get some more people into it. That's cool. That's great. If we see a spike in a V, guys, this is what we're going to be looking for. I'm not going to be playing the continuation. I could be wrong. I could be so wrong, and it could just continue. And the thing is, guys, if the yen actually does this, retests and continues lower, wow, the whole market, every market's going to just be, the stock market's going to make all new lows for the year. Yes, crypto might as well. Some of your favorite stocks are just going to be shit. Everything, the dollar's going to make new highs. It's going to be a crazy. So I'm betting basically on not the craziest shit happening, which would be this. Then, oh, psych, just kidding, the world's not going to end yet. So that's kind of like what I'm looking for basically on the yen. And I'm going to keep this type of shit there, because this is just Wyckoff 101 if I've ever seen it in my life. Okay, let's go into the Goldilocks is tripping as well. So I had a level that I didn't think was going to hold, and it definitely held. So I was wrong about, technically it broke, and then it came back and held. So I didn't think this was going to hold right here. And it did. It's back above it. We're holding above it. I at this point, since gold has gone sideways for so long and it's back above the demand area, I'm thinking we might be bullish until we get to a higher supply. So let's go into maybe the daily, and we can kind of see that the momentum was dying off here. As price was making this lower low, the momentum was not, even though it broke this that area that I didn't think would hold, broke through that around here with this candle, but then came back right above it. It is still below this 50 EMA, and in a pretty trending market like this, I don't necessarily want to anticipate a move above the 50 EMA on a swing. Because if this swing is actually going to swing up, we're breaking this 50 EMA big time. And that is literally calling this move to might as well go back up to new all-time highs. So with saying that, if I do play the move down here, it will be a high probability scalping opportunity, in my opinion, because there should be a reaction down at this discounted price, but it might just fall straight through into this level down here. Now there's still this higher time frame swing from this swing low or this swing high to swing low, and I have this marked off. So if price does come into this supply area before getting into this demand, or even whenever it gets into this supply area, I'm going to be interested in shorts. Very interested in shorts, especially if we go into the lower time frames and we see that there's possibility of divergence. So I'm going to delete this for now because I don't see the divergence yet. But what I do see is price has made its way above this 50 EMA on the 4-hour, and in a major way. But if it does move to the upside right here, this momentum was heavy. I do see a move up on gold, but we're going to have to watch this momentum, because even if price starts to go Let's go 1. It'll go 1, 2, and it'll be even. It'll go to 0, maybe 1, 2, boom. Something like this even, that would bring price all the way over here. A bullish move like this, even, I don't even think this is going to bring the momentum even with this. So we're most likely going to see 4-hour divergence on gold, and that's going to bring the confirmation for the supply area to short whenever gold gets up here. Now, when we see that, it's not necessarily just going to make me go crazy or anything on the risk, but it's going to help me be able to kind of put maybe a full percent or 2% or something like that on it, instead of just like this trade right here. If gold comes to the downside first, I'm going to do a 0.5% on that, or 1%, nothing major, because ultimately I am more bearish. And well, I like the way this looks a little bit more than I like the way this looks. This is ultimately the same thing. This shit comes down here, the extensions line up with the fib, and if it comes up here, the extension doesn't line up with the fib, but I will be taking profit right here, or a good amount of profit right there, right? All right, so let me put another alert up here for gold just to get some action. Look, swings. All right. And then the confirmation is with silver. I would like to see silver do something similar to really confirm this. And let's see. I'm going to delete this right here. Delete this, all this stuff. Let me just go ahead and do a little delete party. And yeah, it does look like silver has this possible 4-hour structure shift as well. So we didn't make new lows here, and we did make new highs here. So I do actually like the possibility of this, regardless, just off of pure perfect technicals, right? That's the definition of a structure shift here. Also, not only did the structure shift, but the momentum came with it. So the momentum converged. So I really do like the opportunity here for silver. I'm gonna not miss out on silver, because the week before we talked about silver, and it actually hit the 78.6 perfectly and hit full extension, all damn near. So we're going to be looking for the same type move. We're just going to move this over a little bit and extend this out here, extend this up a little, and it's the same play. All right, there's volume coming in right here, high volume, right above the 78.6. So that's where we're going to be looking for a sniper entry, most likely, basically, because that's what I do. And boom, 1 hour is most likely going to give the correction sell, but I'm going to lay off on that just in case it does move to the upside first. And the opportunity for the short on silver is way higher than gold. So that makes me think that these could move either differently, which they move pretty similar, or that sell on gold might not be good. This would need to come up way high for me to sell it, and gold doesn't have to come up that high for me to sell it. So we'll see. I like the buys personally a whole freaking lot on silver, like I've never seen before. So let's go into oil. And oil is moving smooth out of this demand area, kind of like we spoke about. That is either going to move smooth off this demand or go straight to 60. And we don't love to trade oil, but we analyze it every week, and we're getting the result here. I believe we're going to see a move up on oil, even though yes, we are still technically maybe below this 50 EMA, or just like right at it. It broke it, and now we're retesting it, what have you. To me, this type of bullish action in this demand area at this price is showing perfect timing by smart money. So I'm just looking at this like oil's about to go to freaking 150 or higher, or do some bullshit like this. Either way, it looks like it's gonna go up. So not the best thing for our gas prices. Okay, we're getting the break of the 50 EMA on the daily, which that's a big deal with volume. So the volume did increase on the big candle. That's a big deal. There is an area of supply that came in right here. So if oil is going to fall, I think it's going to fall within the next day or two. But I'm really not putting my chips on it. It already hit the 78.6. If it falls, it's going to be a retest to hit this demand and then most likely go to the upside. It really hit this swing 78.6 perfectly and then moved with the swiftness. So I'm going to go onto the, let's go 4 hour and see, right? I mean, if you're bearish on oil right now, literally today is your time to short it, because there's the supply just right in your face. Big sellers came in at this price before, so here you go. But to me, that's too much momentum to be going against. So I think I'm going to be looking for, or I would be looking for it to go up right here. And right now actually isn't a bad idea. Short oil, it's just very kind of scary-ish. What would be better or higher probability would be for this to actually move down and then either not be able to break this high and make a new low. Then you can start to, sell the correction. Or if it does some like just complete boom move down, then you can maybe just look for that move and take it down like that. Because there was a gap right here I'm seeing. Either way, I would be kind of more interested in this than that. Right here is where the high probability is on oil, in my opinion. Yeah. Let's go to, that gap's right at that 78.6. What can you say? Okay, let's go to the let's go to the S&Ps, the indices in the stock market, the VIX, and we'll look at the weekly on the VIX here. This is simply showing the market has a high probability of continuing to go up. Okay, we came down and made this major wick. I do think there's going to be a move to the upside on the VIX, which is going to bring the stock market down. All right, let's go into the stock market because we don't need to look at the VIX anymore. All right, and with that type of weekly candle, no one should be bullish. Just straight up, nobody should be bullish. It didn't hit any of our swing zones that we wanted to trade off of. But yeah, this type of stuff right here, very bearish. Let's see what the other ones look like. The NASDAQ, same very, very ugly candle, right? And then the Dow Jones. Now, I'm not saying that they can't go bullish from right here. They are at low prices, but in my humble opinion, I do believe they're going to make new lows this week or next week, or the week after, the week at sometime they're going to make new lows. Predicting that part, I don't love doing that, to be honest. See right here, it missed our swing zone. I wish that would have hit. That'd have been great. It didn't. That's okay. There's still a lot of liquidity there. I'm going to choose to delete it now because price looks like it's turning around, just to kind of clear the chart up. And I mean, you can just see this zone right here. You don't really need to put anything on there. The only thing that I'm seeing right now is that this The bullish move didn't have any volume, and neither does the bearish move. So this could just start going sideways. We could see this actually do this and then sell off. I'm kind of seeing that right now, actually, with this move coming in here, barely sweeping out the lows and then having this bullish move. Let me go into the 4 hour. So it's an opportunity and it's very risky, but ultimately, because I do believe the new lows are going to be made soon. But for a swing, since this low did sweep out right here and it swept out this low, it might have been, we might see a reaction here, boom, to the upside, because we do still have a lot of imbalance of supply. I would think they would want to come fill that in first. They don't have to. Definitely don't have to. They could just come right into this little 1 hour supply and kind of fill this. Well, damn, kind of fill this right here and do that. So it's a very risky move. Possibility is definitely there for the swing. And it is definitely a swing. We're gapping down already. That's like a low-key a good sign for a possibility, at least a 1-to-1, maybe. I don't know how you feel about that. Let's go look at NASDAQ. They're probably all going to give the same shit. Let me see. Scary hours. This one's already there. That would be a better position. I'd be damned if they just start taking out the lows right as the week started. That would make some people pissed off. This one got way closer to a main supply area, but this is the main supply up there. So that was just a minor supply. Yeah, same thing on all of them. I think they're worth half a risk. Why not? I mean, you can't go wrong buying indices, right? So it would be NASDAQ is already in. You can go ahead and market order that one. Unless the broker it isn't, if it could be different on the broker, but and then we could limit order these, or no, that's smart. I don't think these lows are going to break today. Or what we could do to be safe is we could wait for this to hit, and once this limit order hits, then we can manually enter NASDAQ. Like wait for the last one to get to the 78.6 and then manually enter the other two. Or we can just go ahead and do our normal thing. So whatever, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I'm looking at that bullish opportunity. It looks scary. It's an opportunity. Like I first said, cool. Set them up. You can do 0.33 if you want, or 0.5 on all. I'm cool with 0.5, to be honest. The bond market is still going, family. I don't know when it's gonna stop. It's never really shook like this in my trading career. So, I mean, I guess it did back here, but I didn't know what was going on when I first started. And then it came to the downside. Now it's just rocket shipping. When a market does this, it's like Bitcoin. You don't want to try to catch the top, call the tops of these. They can keep going forever, and you don't think they can, and they can. Especially when the divergence is barely even there on the weekly. Is the divergence there on the daily? Okay, it is there on the daily. It should start slowing down, but damn, when you get short pullbacks and then just boom, big moves again, that's showing strength in that. So let's go into the 4 hour. And I look at the bond market, because if the bond market is still bullish, that is showing weakness in all the other markets, basically. And boy, this thing looks very much like it's going to probably give us a little hope and psych, maybe do something like that. That would be ultimate, like, okay, I'm ready for things to reverse. Same thing with the 10-year. This one looks a little bit more like it has an opportunity to reverse first. And that's kind of what I'm hoping that actually happens. It does give a little correction into this area and then moves up again, basically. A little ABC pattern here. Something like that, probably. Because I don't think the bond market is done. We just need a correction. It's moved up so much without correcting. All right. Let's go into cryptos. Let's kind of stay here for a minute. All right. So Bitcoin on the weekly time frame is starting to move weird, right? Because the volume is starting to pick up and price isn't starting to move a lot. So that's weird. Let's go ahead and just delete this. This is the yearly point of control. There is a lot of price in volume in right here at this price. Very interesting. We still have this divergence fib at 1450. If price sinks down there, I think that could be a sniper entry, but ultimately price most likely, and really, I'm not even going to play that, because if price does break this low, it's coming right into this. It really is. So I'm not even going to worry about that. 10K should get hit like with no problem, honestly. If the lows break, it should be no fucking problem. All right, here, what am I seeing? A whole bunch of nothing. You just gotta wait. I'm waiting on this thing to do something. I probably will not trade the crypto market unless it's Ethereum. XRP, which we will look at. Yeah, there's an opportunity right here. If it's gonna go bullish, I see that into this supply, but this is so sideways that you might as well just flip a coin, boy. So we're not going to be playing that. If anything, we're going to be selling it when it gets up into here to anticipate these new lows, because yeah, I do think new lows are coming in. Let's go to Ethereum. And with Ethereum, it makes a little bit more sense. If we get that, if we get new lows on Bitcoin, it would just kind of send Ethereum into this area here, most likely. So new lows on Bitcoin would not be new lows on Ethereum, which would be the ultimate buying macro experience that we'll ever see. If we get this move ever on Ethereum, we will be so bullish. You'll never hear me ever say anything else this more bullish. Right now, it's too sideways to mess with. Accumulation is perfect right now. 13K. Ultimately, I think this swing, even I've been talking about this swing, could even play out from here. Like we might not see Ethereum come down to these lows. This swing could start to really play out. I don't know. I'm accumulating just a little bit. I haven't put in a lot. I want it to drop more. I'm being a little greedy with my price, because my initial price is in the double digits. Now it's averaged out to triple digits. So seeing quadruple digit pricing still pisses me off. So I'm I still want that low bag, but if we get this move on this accumulation right here, golly, I'm ready for it to rocket. Probabilistically, we're gonna see this thing sink, and maybe even sink one more time. But it's if Bitcoin sinks, it's not gonna sink. It's not gonna do it near as much. Let's go and see what the percentage is again. We'll go here to here, and that's a 46% drop, which I mean, that's very easily can happen on Bitcoin. I don't think Ethereum would do the 46%. I think it would do maybe 30. Shit. If it did 30 or half, that would put it still there. 30 would be exactly kind of where I think it would sweep out these lows a little bit and then reverse. But if it did the 45, it still wouldn't look near as bad as what Bitcoin would look, right? Bitcoin would break people's hearts at 10K. Ethereum at 700 is like a freaking snack. So we'll see what happens with this crypto market. I'm not really caring for Ethereum or Bitcoin yet. This is what I'm caring for, and it's XRP. And we have been calling it out, guys. It has been just an easy ride for the swing traders. Let me tell you right here on this one, because once this thing finally, first of all, we called it out down here on the accumulation. We said it kind of looks like some accumulation. And if it starts to break above these areas, we're probably going to get a move to the upside. And what do you know? The next like day or two, we got this big boom, 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 just Wyckoff big ass push up. So once we saw that big move, we knew what was good. We were most likely going to get a retest of the demand. And this is the move we've been riding for a minute now. We're in here to here. And we come back and tapped our 78.6 perfectly. And we've just been in ever since. It's a pretty clean move here at 30%. And, you know, 30% in 11 days is crazy in a bear market. You don't see that a lot. So we also caught another position here at this 78.6. So we have two positions here. So 30 and 23. Come on now. So I'm expecting XRP to continue. Just catching a position on it now is going to be a little tough. So kind of got to watch for that. The momentum is starting to dry out a little bit. So you got to watch out for that as well. But yeah, this thing is starting to go bullish. And if it goes to where I think it's going to go, which on the daily it shows into like the 77 area, then I'm trying to find another entry to get in. You know, that's where I think it could go. Ultimately, first stop should be around 63. If it's gonna, you know, continue off of this wave right here. If we get another pullback, if like the crypto market tanks this week and this thing just, we're gonna look for this thing to stall out and go up again because the strength on this versus everything else is massive. So we'll even throw a fib down on this last swing. And if it comes into the 78.6, which it has not yet, which is literally like the middle of the Wyckoff accumulation, that's perfect, right? Come back into where all the orders were being built. Come back into this and let's go. That would be the money shot. It does extend pretty much into the area where we're looking for it to go. Just a little bit above. That's where I really think the market is trying to get to. You know, that would suffice. All right, a nice move right here. This would bring it up into, you know, 90%. You can almost double your money on this move without any leverage. Crazy. Definitely going to just have to wait for XRP to come back down into that if I want to add into that position. Now, you know, I wanted it to come into here before it made another move up, and it still might be, this still might be the next or the best spot to look for buys if it can come back into this with your stop down here. But I'm starting to see a little bit of liquidity here. It gets a little tricky. You know, the 50 EMA is holding really nicely, so if it might even just continue waving out slightly. That's why ultimately I would like to see like maybe a deep impulse down, maybe even play a short, get out of my buys, and then you know, see the market correct into this area with a nice correction pattern. and then a continuation to the upside on XRP is really all I can see on XRP, since its strength is showing way more. I want to look at maybe, I want to look at the USDT dominance and see what this is looking like, because I haven't really seen it in a while. All right. It's at an area where it could sell off, which I said if this does sell off here, Bitcoin could move up. That's interesting. Let's go to the daily and see how it's really looking. Yeah, I don't know. So right now we're getting a lot of bearish divergence coming into an area where it has sold off before, definitely. It's not like it's an impulsive supply area, in my opinion. The market is definitely more bullish than it is like bearish here. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see if it does make it one candle and we get this one candle that kind of breaks above these highs right here, just kind of bump. That's probably it. That's probably it for crypto for a minute, because this thing will probably do a little bit of that, and that's gonna send crypto tanking. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see if this ends up breaking this 50 EMA after the bearish divergence, after coming into this fib level, which I deleted. But if it does, no, it hasn't came into the fib. Regardless, if it does make a break for it, kind of on the 4-hour, and maybe breaks this zone down, because maybe this could be some distribution. If it does break this zone down, I will be thinking the crypto market is about to go up. And this is going to come into this area of demand. Very simple on this, actually. So I would be looking for this to break like this, come all the way down in here, or shit, it could even fake out, which ultimately would be the best thing for crypto. If this thing goes way up here, fakes out, sends Bitcoin to stupid levels, and then that would be a sign to me that that could be a top for, or a bottom for Bitcoin. Well, we'll have to see. This also could do this though. And just take off, then maybe even do it one more time, take Bitcoin to 10K, send this to levels it's never been before, and then do the. So once we get this confirmation here and on Bitcoin, that's when we'll have a confirmed bottom. Right now, I don't see a confirmation yet. And even if it just breaks through here this week, I still think there's area for this to do one more move up, and that would send Bitcoin tanking. I'm still very bearish on every market because of the Fed, not anything else. This is the fucking Fed's fault, right? It's because they're bearish, right? And we're not even going to look at any other cryptos really, because they're all in a very similar spot. There's a couple of them that are moving a little bit better than others, and those are the ones that we target at Next Wave to really get ones that are actually moving. Quant, right? We barely missed this buying opportunity, but the ones that are showing strength versus Bitcoin are the ones that you want to start to look at now, because whenever the market does tank, if Bitcoin does a 50% drop, this can drop 62% and still not even hit these lows yet, which would be the best buying opportunity, the best buying opportunity. Say this does drop all the way to 78.6, 58% drop. It's already stronger than Bitcoin, so I doubt if Bitcoin drops 58%, this is going to drop 58%, but regardless, boom. So look for quant. I said we're not going to go over any. Mana is one of those that is like, yo, if this thing pops at all, you're good to go. Be careful with that one though. It has that pattern to it. It really does. It just has that pattern to it. I'm looking at the really cheap ones. I know Blake knows a couple. XRP, yes, and Stellar, they have a good relationship together. They're very similar. So you can see right here, Stellar is moving nicely, just like XRP. They are in the same category. We're not going to get into all that. They're the same type of coin, basically. That's not what I meant, but very bullish. Same thing. If it comes into here, it's probably going to go up again. It's not as bullish as XRP, in my opinion. Let's see if ADA, nope, 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 Doge. It has a little possibility here. If it does break above, watch for some Wyckoff. Matic is another one that is outperforming. So watch for Matic in this level right here. Or even down here. But when a crypto really starts to move, like trend hard, it doesn't pull back to the 78.6 a lot. But that's okay. Okay, I think that is going to be it. Unless anyone has any other pairs they want me to look at. Oh, wow. UCAT is right at this area where I was looking to short it. I'm probably not going to short it now because weird time of day, but that's pretty interesting. I'm just going to flip through the pairs. Oh, yeah. Look, if we can get this on UCHEF, if we can get this on UCHEF, that'll be perfect. We'll look for shorts. EU, we're looking for buys down at the 78.6. Got to. EA Sports, it's in the game. We don't trade that much. EG, looking weird. It's looking like if it comes back up here, we need to short it though. So I'll be watching that. I'll put an alert at this level. And we're looking for buys on GU down here. Same thing on like GCAD, like this thing made a V bottom. So even that type of play on GCAD, G-Chef, the same thing. Same thing. GA, same shit. It's all the same thing. They all look similar. They made the V bottom. I think the pound might have V bottom. Maybe. We'll see. Like I said, for AU, we're literally waiting for the Wyckoff move. Lower time frames is just continuing to sell off. So just waiting for that switch. Maybe even just wait for this to switch right there. Boom, bada bing, bada boom. I don't want to keep selling it because it's in a higher time frame demand area. Let's look at the so this is most likely going to make one more pass to the upside. We were in a swing on this a long time ago, told everyone to get out at break even. It's still going up a little bit. I don't know if it's UJ has been so bullish. To sell it is dumb, but when it creates the Wyckoff patterns like this, come on. So we'll wait for one more pass, I guess, like everything else. One more pass. We'll see. We'll look to play that. At this point, there's no point in buying it at all. It's too risky. There's too much supply right here, so definitely don't buy it. If it does give a big impulse to break any structure, we will be looking for shorts here at this point in time. GJ, we barely missed that opportunity. GJ looks a little weird, so we want the pound to maybe bottom out macro wise, which would mean we want GJ to do this, but then we also want the yen to go bullish macro, which would make GJ do this. So I don't know if GJ is the one for me personally to be messing with, but I can't not see the V. That's like all I see. And so this would be something, an opportunity that I look for as well, even though this could be like a bigger move where this is coming down because of the yin, right? It's either the yin's going to win or the pound is going to win. And that's why I'm not really messing with this one, because I don't really like the odds here. If I'm looking at it, lowest time frame looks kind of corrective for a pop soon anyway. So I'm just not going to mess with the GJ most likely. EJ, let's see. I want to try to see if I can correlate some of these. Yeah, this came into a swing zone for sure, and we might see this start to drop, which would make, which would mean the yen is either dropping or the euro. It means the yen is either popping or the euro is dropping. This might be the one to watch for sells if we're going to play one for sells. It's too corrective though, so gotta wait for some shit. Not gonna play it. AJ definitely not playing it. Cadre, whatever. I don't need to take these off my freaking watch list. Gold, we gotta wait for it to come down a little bit more if we're gonna buy it. I was looking for shorts on it last week and didn't get that. If it does come up into the 4-hour area with my divergence, 4-hour divergence fib, I might look for this short off of this fib here as well, like I said. So, price comes up a little bit into the 78.6, I'm probably going to expect this. Price comes down into here first, I'm probably going to expect this. And then look for the short. Pretty simple on that. And then indices, guys, we're in buys on these guys. We're buying these for a risky freaking play, and we're half risking it. So it's funny. I think these lows are going to get broken, but I also see the opportunity of this impulse, back into this completely imbalanced supply. So I would like to see a little demand kick in for the start of the week, and then end of the week, let's go ahead and end it with a nasty wick to the upside, right? Like a weekly candle wick. So, and then crypto would be very much the same thing, right? That would make Bitcoin kind of do this, come into this nasty supply, and then boom, kind of move down. We'll see what happens. All right. So I appreciate y'all for coming on. I'm gonna try to edit this up a little bit. Maybe not this time, maybe next time. We'll see. Y'all have a good one. Peace out.